speaking, you can kill the entire enemy team with one Winter's Curse.
That's right.
If you are a wizard and if the enemy team is really bad. So probably not going to happen unless GPK tilts, of course, Shannon. Then we can...
Oh, we're going to start this?
I figured I should be the first one to say
you.
it, just so, you know, it's going to... Can't be you every time.
We should, again, mention the very important aspect of this best of 3 is that it's a tiebreaker, Cinder, and winner of this series will go to the upper bracket, so it's a fight for that said upper bracket. Loser to the lower bracket, so they're still alive, but they get one less life. That's how it works, in case you're brand new to esports.
In a way, you could argue this is upper bracket round 0, right? Because the team that wins stays in upper, and the team that loses drops down. So
that's right.
It is as important as round 1, in a way.
So yeah, what do you think of the lineups here? We see GPK on his very standard Storm Spirit, BZM playing the Kunkka mid. That will be the matchup here. But yeah, anything... I mean, the first thing that comes to mind for me when looking at these lineups is I feel like Soxa on Keeper Light has been disgustingly good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's ban-worthy necessarily, but it feels like this recall facet is just insanely strong, especially if you get the shard via the Tormentor. It's just constant global pressure. It doesn't matter what heroes you have.
The Caudal Sand King lane is one, I think, Tundra. I want to say this is maybe the 3rd game this tournament that they run this exact lane duo, and it's been looking really, really good for them. So without a doubt, they should be feeling comfortable. It's a tough lane matchup, though. I think Gyro Silencer is definitely within the meta picks right now. This is one of the tougher situations you'll find yourself in. Double ranged heroes with taunts of harass and mega high range, so Sand King can't really reliably avoid taking damage and just chill. If you go Sandstorm, they're obviously going to have sentries ready for you. You can see Kataomi's just holding on to 2 of them from the beginning and using his 3rd one to block the big camp. So they're very well prepared down there. I think overall I maybe favor BetBoom's draft slightly more. I think this is a very difficult Winter Wyvern game. It's one of my personal favorite heroes, and I would say Storm Spirit is one of the tougher heroes you can face. Obviously, Infinite Reach does a ton of magic damage, so Cold Embrace isn't the best help against him. But it's not only that, it's the fact that if you get caught by literally anything, they can just global. Yeah. And you're just cooked, so and it's very hard to
tell me, why was this picked then?
I think they were trying to look for a 5 that could help TA in the lane against Enigma in particular, and have also a way of canceling Black Hole. I don't know if Warlock was available. I think that would have been a more, I want to say, more stable choice in a way. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Honestly, I don't see. There's no like clear curse target here. It's not you're playing against 2 enemy melee cores that are always going to be stacked, or some sort of really hard-hitting hero. Gyro is actually one of the worst carries to have Winter's Curse against because he doesn't do massive single target damage, but rather spread damage. And if you curse someone next to him, the Flak Cannon is still hitting your team. So.
What about the Side Gunner? I feel like that should hit allies, right? Should work that way.
Think it does. That's actually a good question. I wouldn't think it does, but maybe.
All right, that's your job to pay attention to it. Of course, we're going to forget about this.
Extremely hard to know.
We're going to forget about this conversation in just a moment. Soxa will be first blooded by Kataomi on the Silencer. We cast him earlier this tournament. He was level 6 at about 16 minutes or so. That was a rough one. Definitely off to a better start this time.
I think it's impossible for this not to be way better already.
Yeah.
Well, that game, he had a terrible laning stage. They lost both wisdoms.
Anything's possible, so if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
I mean, yeah, if he were to go AFK now, he would roughly be as strong as 8 minutes in the other game. So he can take a little bit of a break to be back on par. But yeah, great start here for BetBoom down in the bot lane, unsurprisingly. And the big issue here is look at 33's net worth. He is getting nothing. So they really need these stacks.
Oh boy. That Cold Embrace allows the surround tactics onto Crystallis. Miro not able to get the full body block off, though. You saw how fast his refraction was dissipated by just having all these Eidolons there. Very annoying to deal with.
I think on paper, BetBoom just have 2 lanes that should be, at this level of play, borderline unlosable. I think the Enigma Tiny cannot lose this lane, and I think the Gyro Silencer can't lose bot either. So BZM is currently slightly ahead of GPK, but I want to call that lane roughly a draw. They actually have the exact same CS right now, as the 4-minute water will be going GPK's way to help him out. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this early game for BetBoom is shaping up quite nicely. And my hero to watch in this game now for Tundra is how does 33 dig his way out of this hole? They've got 1 triple stack over here of the big camp, so he's going to farm that now, and that should get him level 4, along with the Ogre Bruisers. But even with this stack farmed up from him, both him and Soxa will get some gold, but their current combined net worth is 500 lower than just Gyro himself.
Yeah.
19 denies on Pure to 33's 11 last hits, of which half are in the jungle.
I mean, to be fair, we do not. It's not just these stacks, but I'm sure there will end up being bigger stacks for him to take once he gets higher levels of Sandstorm.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen him catapult in farm and levels in the past. This one's a bit difficult, though.
He actually needs to Sandstorm twice to farm this camp. This is, I mean, it's the best play he has, but this isn't like, hell yeah, this is amazing, I'm back kind of territory. It's like, okay, I'm staying alive. Oh, his Sandstorm is actually oh, he could reach.
Oh, okay.
This
yeah,
is
a little awkward. A little
great.
awkward. It's okay.
Yeah.
As the drum's already been picked up by Miero.
I assume 33 will want to go for, so one of the games we cast of his Sand King, he went Crimson Pipe. I think he might want to do that exact build this game rather than a Blink. He has X Mark to set up kills, and
Whitemon gonna get ganked here. Kataomi shows up. Avatos, he will Cold Embrace to delay the inevitable. Only question is, who claims the kill? Will be Kataomi. He's gonna be going carry Silencer in this game after that showing from the other day. But yeah, definitely a hero. Once you get that level 6, the presence, especially with that facet. Have you ever seen the other one before where you can't be silenced?
I think I saw it the day it came out, and that's the only time I've seen anyone pick it.
I mean, reverberating silence is one of the best facets in the entire game, I would say. It is absurdly strong. Very annoying to deal with, especially if you have a Dispel.
I read an interesting idea of changing the other facet. I think this was a suggestion I saw on Reddit where rather than just you being unsilenceable, the suggestion was something like during global silence, your teammates cannot be silenced.
Oh, I see.
Or something like that.
That's pretty strong.
And that could be interesting, like a way of thinking about it, a different angle to the hero to offer some sort of protection for teammates against silence. But yeah, everything about
would it be a global dispel, or is it something you have to do before you get silence?
I mean, you tell me. It's just an idea. I didn't come up with it.
Basic dispel that's global sounds pretty good just in and of itself, right?
Well, if it's only dispel against silence, then it would be amazing against Orchid, obviously.
Yeah.
And specific heroes, but could maybe be an interesting nuance.
I wouldn't mind it. I mean, if you just read this facet on paper, it's absurdly strong, right? Feels like a band-aid to an issue that Silencer has had for ever in Dota, it feels like, where you just get one dispel and he's irrelevant.
And I'm sure there's been discussions of, okay, how do we make global silence stick? Like, do you make the Ags make it pierce BKB, or rather make it undispellable, excuse me, or do you do something with the shard that, you know, there's obviously ways of doing it, but yeah, this hero is definitely one of the heroes that overall suffered the most in the last couple of years from just the power creep and the amount of itemization that people go for.
Yeah.
It's just so easy to come by dispels, and reverberating silence has made the hero relevant. I think if this facet didn't exist, Silencer would be unpicked this tournament.
That's right. You know why? Why we know that's true is because before the facet he was unpickable. For how long? Many, many years.
Yeah, and he was still randomly getting nerfed because someone at Valve doesn't like playing against Silencer.
Well, he is quite the nuisance in pubs, so.
He has also got a big upgrade, right? I think getting back his old last word was quite the big help.
I love when they redesign heroes several times over, and then after 10 years, they finally admit, let's just go back to the original formula. I thought that might have been what they were going to go with for Dazzle, but I'm happy that, I don't know how many reworks, let's say 5 times a charm, even though we're not seeing Nothro protection in this tournament so much because it just got nerfed, but conceptually a very cool ability.
Here's what they should do, Shannon. They should make Nothro projection the Ags, and then you should give him Weave as his ult.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
God help us. Most boring. You like the most boring things in Dota.
That's untrue.
I like that Oracle has a double-edged sword.
That's untrue. I think Necrophos is really fun to play.
I do like Necrophos.
Do you actually? Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you were going to be like, yeah.
No. He's cool because you can buy a shard that lets you blink, basically.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
Disjoint.
So 2K lead here for BetBoom.
It's actually basically 3. It was 3 5 seconds ago, so it's a pretty massive advantage. The win expectancy for the game currently is actually 3-1, which is kind of crazy 8 minutes in this patch. Like, Dota Plus generally doesn't favor one team this hard this early. I'm assuming it really likes Enigma for late game for games
I wonder
like this.
how much it has to do with Sand King not getting off to the best of starts.
Yeah.
As well, X from BZM will keep him safe. But a lot of these times, like I feel like most of the games we see 33 play Sand King, he gets off to an incredible start. He gets a super fast Bloodstone or whatever the case may be. This will obviously help him get back into the game a bit, but...
Yeah, I'm surprised to see he's going Dagger, actually. I really thought this was going to be Pipe Crimson against Storm and Gyro. That item combination is pretty powerful, but maybe their read is, well, if we don't get Blink on Sand King, we can't make moves early enough.
Got the X boat coming for the Eurocopter. He's going to brush it off easily. And that's the end of the fight.
Yep.
Very
interesting
exciting.
gank.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of miscommunication there. We saw the last series for Tundra not exactly in the same page at all times, but they made it work.
Get off my lawn!
And, I mean, obviously they do have a new carry on the team, so there's going to be some growing pains, you would think. But it feels like Chrysalis has played quite well.
Yeah, he played TA yesterday as well and looked completely comfortable on that hero.
Yeah,
There wasn't any doubt.
looks to be getting picked off here. Will Cold Embrace team
-1.
is not coming to the rescue. And that is another stack for Kataomi. Level 4 right now at 9.5 minutes. Thought he'd be leveling a little bit faster, if I'm being honest.
Did they not get both? Did they not get one of their wisdoms?
You tell me.
They did. So despite getting a wisdom on Tiny, they're
Still
both
kinda
level
low.
4.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Soxa, he's going to get picked off. And that's another stack as BZM, under his tier 2, should survive.
But they lose the mid tower and the top tower pre-10.
Yeah, so BetBoom.
Map is very open for them right now.
Absolutely. Looks like they're grouping up to potentially go for bottom as well, but Kataomi basically out of mana at this point. Although GPK, Arcane Rune available for him.
Ooh, that's a good one. Global Silence obviously not available just yet, but
There's the blink for 33. We'll see if they try to defend this. Have a little blink reveal action potentially. Sox are going to keep the creeps a bit at bay, but this tower looks to be dead and doesn't look like Tundra are able to really truly defend. So another tower goes the way of BetBoom. But now we have a smoke from Tundra and they want to use this blink dagger immediately. BZM.
Blade Mill
Under the
online.
Kataomi.
Good item against Gyro. Good item against Storm.
What's that?
The Blade Mill on Kunkka.
Oh.
But obviously, I don't think the way BetBoom are going to be approaching fights is very much centered around killing Kunkka before the boat. I think you're just trying to kill the backline, if possible. With the global, you just want to kill Coddle, you want to kill Wyvern, and build your fight in that way. Maybe kill Sand King. Speaking of,
He's stalking. Ooh, okay.
not going to happen, though.
Yeah, it feels awkward to... He just goes in by himself, even with Epi. I don't think he gets that kill.
It would have been close, but he doesn't know for a fact where Pure went. If he had a ward, I think he would have tried for it. But it is kind of a strange game to watch from Tundra here, that they just seemingly cannot find any moment of opportunity at all. And in the meantime, lose 3 tier 1 towers at 10 minutes.
Yep.
Pretty uncharacteristic, so...
Yeah, normally you'd have 33, like you said, with some sort of tanky item that he can just sit in front of the tower.
Yeah.
Very hard to get through, but this Blink Dagger means he's not going to be farming that fast. And
if you buy Blink and don't fight, then it's just a dead item, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is just not going to be worth it down the stretch if he doesn't find anything with it. GPK.
Please hit me, please!
GPK saw the spikes. How overpowered would Blade Mill be if he couldn't see it activated?
Yeah, that would be really strong.
That would be interesting.
It's almost like Mystic Flare.
Yeah, despite that being invisible, the hero is not picked. So imagine if you could tell that he's ulting.
I actually don't know if they fixed that bug because I have not seen the hero, feels like, in forever.
I think it's still bugged half the time.
Yeah, okay. Oh, it's
weird.
33. Kataomi's still level 5. Man, he does not like having levels, it seems. Just leech.
He'll get it bottom now with this wave, I think. Yeah, he's just going to sit here. Chill. We're approaching the 15-minute mark. Both teams are actually quite good at taking the Tormentor. On one side, you've got the TA and Coddle, and on the other one, you have Enigma. So, would imagine that the teams will be interested in looking for some sort of moment of opportunity bottom. You can see Tundra already has relatively good offensive vision placed. There's one down in the bot lane. There's one close to the Roche pit in the bottom area. And on BetBoom's side, they've placed the one below the Tormentor off to the left. So trying to get some sort of zone control and thinking ahead here. Makes a lot of sense. Tundra also have, I don't think, really shown a hero top lane for 3 or 4 minutes. So I don't really think you're too worried about getting invaded in your own triangles. You don't need to put your vision there.
Yeah, very slow game from Tundra especially. BetBoom in a very good spot. The Aghanim Scepter for Pure is only 1,000 away. He already has the Crystallis and Treads to top that off. Should have that in time for this Tormentor fight, or at least it'll be close. His Sox in 33. How many times we've seen the Epicenter being
not cast.
Started and canceled.
It's time for Wisdom's save. Will go for 1. And Tundra not on their Wisdom right now. They're trying for an aggressive dive. Global Silence is available.
Yep, Kataomi. They're going to spot him. X to start things out. Boat is coming for him as well. He's going to get insta-gib before he can get anything off. Not sure
now
if he
Pure
can
on the left.
To. Burrow Strike is going to apply. TP coming in, though. Actually surrounded by Tundra members. Save gets a nice double avalanche. More TPs coming. There's a zip in from GPK, but the Winter's Curse into the Torrent. Not the best. As Miero is there as well, but there's the big Epicenter from 33. Save does end up falling, but now the counter Black Hole onto 33. That is a bigger kill if they can get through him, but the Cold Embrace actually keeps him alive. GPK surely wants to finish it off. He does. Now he's very, very low on mana. Meanwhile, Pure just getting surrounded, and GPK, basically the last member here, will take out Whitemon. Now it's a 1v2, but Kataomi comes back from death as Crystallis should be able to get dropped here. That's a triple kill for GPK. BZM and company running away in style. So very back and forth fight overall.
This is a landslide victory for Tundra if GPK doesn't have a regen rune. That is the sole reason they got the final, I want to say maybe all 3 kills actually was off the regen rune. So great play calling from him to stick around and say we can still take these kills. The Global Silence came out after Gyro was dead, so it was flat out just the 2 of them getting the job done in the end. But still, Tundra showing some signs of life here. After an extremely slow start, like you said, they do manage to go for the dive and get a couple of kills, but they don't get the tower, so the Tormentor is still going to be relatively difficult to access for them. And you can tell from BetBoom's positioning of their heroes that they definitely want to get for themselves.
Oh yeah.
Black Hole and Global Silence down is a big deal.
Sox overcalling 33 right next to him. Pure is going to get Burrow struck on the high ground. He is completely surrounded. This is so many members of Tundra. The boat will hit, but they're not going to fully commit as they were expecting more BetBoom members in the area. And they are correct. The Pure still has to be careful. The X won't be comboed with anything here. So Tundra will reset. We'll see if Pure can somehow heal up. Does have a salve on...
The Tormentor is generally not where you go to heal.
Well, if you kill it, you will heal.
Yeah.
But looks like Tundra ran out of steam. No, they have to give this up.
Yeah. And the shard goes to save. We'll be enjoying some farm.
Yeah, not bad. Well, not great either, though.
It's decent.
What was the other one? Oh, it's Silencer. Yeah.
I mean, the Silencer one isn't necessarily bad when you get it at 15 minutes.
I mean, I'm not saying either are bad. It's just none of them are crazy game changers. I mean, you could argue the overtime, the tiny one's good.
If you kill a couple of heroes with Silencer, let's say 2 or 3 times in the radius, and they lose 10 int, that's kind of a big deal for certain heroes.
Yeah, I think both are dependent on something.
Yeah,
as opposed to just getting something that's objectively going to be good, right?
I was curious to see if Save would pivot for Treads now that he got the shard, but he's still going Arcanes. He was thinking about finding a moment onto Crystallis here, but Crystallis saw the Enigma rotation with the singular trap he has in the top lane. The Enigma move apparent for him. But Tundra will still grab a tower in the other side of the map as a trio, and this should be BZM's Radiance. So, yeah, haven't talked about his farm too much. He's doing very well for himself. 170 CS coming up. And a 17-minute Radiance plus Blade Mail. Definitely. I've been very positively surprised by his mid-Kunkka, because this was a hero that I think we've seen in a couple of games, and I'm still not fully a believer, but I definitely think he's been the one playing it the best so far this tournament.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
If it works for them, then
more power to you. Yeah, I think he's generally the hero that has been underwhelming for the most part, but he has had some good performances from the BZM side. We'll be getting the Illusion rune as well. So extra farm with that Radiance.
I will say something that Tundra have done in this game to kind of cover their bases down the stretch a bit is they have very good sustain. So between Ghost Ship and Cold Embrace and the Illuminates from Coddle, this might be part of the reason their Kunkas feel more impactful in the games that we've seen them play is they really draft around that hero as well in what it offers rather than picking, oh, this is, we could pick Kunkka guys, right? It feels very much like a, how to put it, there's a couple more conditions that they match in their strategy when they pick this hero than the other teams we've seen. So if they can continue this this tankiness strategy, you and I cast a game yesterday against Tidebound where their heroes were borderline invincible.
Yep.
Tidebound also didn't have any damage, so it made it easier. But
the best of both worlds, it seemed.
They were running a similar archetype strategy in that game. So.
Yeah, the stars truly aligned for quite the spectacle of no damage being applied whatsoever.
Smoke on smoke, but nobody's close to an enemy hero, so... Oh, maybe Miro? No, he didn't go down the river.
So Aghanim Scepter for 33. We've seen how that can impact the epicenter.
Yep.
Again, kind of dependent items, right? The Blink and the Ag's not going to help you farm, but for fighting, very strong. So Tundra are looking for the fight. Kataomi might just be walking into it potentially.
At 33 is probably a bit more deceptively tanky than you would usually think, specifically again because of those heals in the boat rum. So without having an item such as Pipe or Crimson, he can still get in there as long as they are in range of helping with the other heroes, but that's where Global Silence can be a game changer. If the Sand King gets isolated and they pop Global, he instantly dies. Like
it does feel like a really good pipe game.
It does, right?
Yeah, a little bit surprised he didn't opt for that earlier, or maybe he's not even going for it at all.
I don't think he'll go after a third item, but maybe.
Deso's now there for Crystallis. As Roche making his way back to his second home.
Step by step, Tundra have actually gained the gold lead here.
GPK and company gonna find one. It's BZM. Do they have the damage? Global Silence is there. That's gonna give him a lot of room to destroy him. He is gonna actually live for the time being. Finally gets taken out. Whiteman in the meantime on the cliff will Cold Embrace, but the eventual kill goes the way of BetBoom again. So 2 for nothing. Just like that, Tundra now have to exit as fast as they can. 33 is actually going in for the kill onto Pure with that Aghanim Scepter. Is it enough damage? Yes! 33 with the snipe. Pure definitely was not expecting that. So Will-O-Wisp now coming out from the Coddle, but Save gets a nice avalanche on 2 heroes. He dies shortly after. Kataomi is going to get sniped by Crystallis in the meantime. Miero still inside the Ignis Fatus, getting stunned constantly. Do they have the chase? Attempting to TP, not going to happen. Triple kill for Crystallis. They lost 2 heroes and they still win the fight. What the hell was that?
Yeah, that was a clutch late play from 33, identifying that he could kill the half HP Gyro with his own Ag's item build. Just enough damage in the tank, the assistance wasn't nearby. And on top of all of that, he also managed to Burrow Strike away from the Vortex of Storm. So yes, he does die in the very, very end, but man, talk about doing work as the offlane Sand King in that situation. It's going to give them the grand reward of Roshan here as well. Imagine they will put this on the TA. You could entertain Kunkka as an idea perhaps, but we'll see. Yeah, okay, Crystallis will make the slot. Tundra. A pretty good spot now. This is where it gets a bit interesting for me to see what approach BetBoom take, because from my perspective, 5 minutes ago, I really liked the spot they were in the game. I think approaching fights, you find an Avatos, Global Silence, you kill a hero, you build the fight from there, you have Storm for the chase down. But now that you've had an unsuccessful moment like that and the enemy team has Aegis, are you just going to resort to just chilling up and farming? You're getting Miero his BKB sometime soon. That would obviously be massive, but there's still the curse to worry about. And the Gyro BKB is coming up too. So in that fight, a key piece was missing that they now have. Still feels like anyone's game, but that was very important for Tundra.
Epi available again. GPK going for the snipe onto Sox. He's going to get Burrow Strike, and there's the Will-O-Wisp for the counter initiation from Save. The Winter's Curse follows suit, though. Now the Global Silence comes out, resetting everything. Save gets cleaved, and that's the death of Kataomi as well. So both supports down for BetBoom.
Yeah, just flat out got outnumbered. He was trying to go for the play on GPK together with Global, but the Silencer was being killed simultaneously. Tundra just there faster with more people.
That's a big ultimate down now. I mean, that's one downside of the BetBoom lineup. Black Bull's still up, but you got 2 ultimates that you're going to be relying on that if you bait them out from the Tundra side, you can take full advantage.
Yeah, a lot of the time TA is good against this playstyle because she's one of the harder heroes sometimes to kill during Global, and she's very good at forcing defensive and big cooldowns to be used. She gets a Meld Strike off on a support, they kind of, you know, almost immediately die and have to make the choice of whether to cast the spell or not. Save, trying for a toss back.
Yeah, 33 is getting the epicenter off though, and the Sandstorm to follow. Save gets deleted. Kataomi, they do use the black hole just on 33, probably worth it. They've still lost 2 members though. Now Pure with the Nightfall, his old teammate
Taught him well.
giving him some extra help here. Oh, he gets X back. The interaction with BKB now. That is disastrous for BetBoom. Miero able to get to the high ground. Torrent not going to connect, so he will get away, but Tundra just coming out on top fight after fight now.
Yeah, that's a really big win. That's another tower. They didn't even lose their Aegis. They used Black Hole. Ironically, I actually think the Black Hole was part of Kataomi's death. I think he got another pulse out of the movement during this. See? I'm pretty sure he's still pulsing from the Ags while being pulled by the Black Hole. Yeah, that is now an 8,000 gold lead with Aegis still in hand. No Black Hole. Global Silence available in 5, but in, I want to say, uncharacteristic fashion for BetBoom here, Pure has not been able to convert on a good laning stage on Gyro.
Yeah,
How many games have we seen this guy just completely take over when he has those first 10 minutes, but not this one?
You know, I was talking him up quite a bit earlier, Cinderin, in our last cast. I mean, you know, at his peak, he's the 2nd best carry in the world. I feel like this tournament, he's been underperforming, though, consistently. The games we've cast, at least, he has not been particularly effective for whatever reason.
It's hard to be in top form all the time.
Yeah.
What matters is whether you can be in top form when it matters the most.
I think it's because I subjected him to eat some American gas station snacks.
Oh, that's right.
He wasn't happy about it. Miero doesn't eat that stuff, so he was just watching.
I mean, it's a known fact that morale plays a really big role in video games.
And I
being
ruined
in the same room as you for 5 minutes can probably plague the following week, honestly.
Yeah, and it was 15 minutes, so it's 3 times as bad.
Yeah.
I know.
He might be good for Dream League 26.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. BKB now there for Miero. So Winter's Curse, the only thing that can cancel.
They can cover it with Global, so
yeah, that's fair.
If you were to
Pure, he's going to get X back into many a stun. Global Silence is used, and that's just for the getaway. Pure will live.
Give him a BKB charge.
That's a big cooldown down again. GPK will show himself in the bottom river. Get the shield runes, though, virtually unkillable right now. You know what item we haven't been seeing just generally is Lincolns.
Yeah.
I just bring that up because, you know.
It's not too good.
Yeah, why is it? I feel like I don't remember anything being changed anytime recently.
Well, to me, one of the big game changers is the fact that you can target spells in BKB, right? Like, that was...
Yeah, that's true.
You used to be able to have this guaranteed blocker with BKB plus Lincolns of only being targeted by BKB piercing spells such as... That was the counter to, if you were playing Enigma against Rubik, you would go BKB and Lincolns so that he can spell steal, but that's going to break your Lincolns so he doesn't get Black Hole. But nowadays, if you buy those items on Enigma, you blink Black Hole someone, Rubik's going to Fate Bolt you and then he's going to steal your ult.
Right.
So I think that is honestly the absolute biggest thing that happened to this item, that it has still been picked up since that change, but I think it's a lot more situational now. And a small sample of heroes will grab it. It's... I don't think it's in the core build of any hero at all in Dota.
No.
There's like nobody that always wants Lincolns. It used to be more Fling, but don't really even see that anymore. So it might need a buff of some kind. I wouldn't mind. I think it's a cool item. Tormentor.
Tundra sporting a 10k lead now, and
now it's 12.
33 will get a free shard on top of everything. He's going to be shown, though, as Save goes in with the Avalanche on top of the Midnight Pulse. Gets a big Burrow Strike to the other side as Sox actually makes his way over, but that's just to watch his teammate die and feed himself. So 2 kills for BetBoom. You can tell who's the dominant one in the relationship between 33 and Sox based on that move alone.
Dude, that was some Romeo and Juliet shit right there. There's absolutely no point in porting in for Soxa. I'm not sure how he was imagining he could save him. Maybe if I recall myself in, give him mana, he gets a second Burrow Strike and can somehow get out, but it was certain death for you. So the risk-reward there, not exactly the best, but you know, if anybody shouldn't be talking about save a friend syndrome, it is me. That's one of my biggest issues as a player when I play in games, is that I just want to try to help people and I get myself killed.
I think you'll learn over time, which you have yet to, that you need to be a real piece of shit to play this game effectively.
Yeah, speaking of, I was talking to Jack Chen in the green room.
Okay, can't wait for this.
Yep, that's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an important one, as Avalanche from Save is going to find one into the
nice
black hole. Crystallis is dead. Big kill for BetBoom.
That's massive.
It looks like the rest of Tundra will be able to get away here. But this game, I mean, Tundra were in the driver's seat, and BetBoom now taking a little bit more control, but
that's half the lead gone with
the net
kills.
worth deficit, has been cut in half.
And you can tell that Whitemon is frustrated because he wants to go for these counterplays, but they just black hole and put global on top of it, and you can't really do anything about it. He's buying a Lotus next, which will effectively only have him deal with the reverberating silence, but that's still about like 2 seconds. So you probably kill someone in black hole anyway. I don't know. 2 seconds is a long time.
Yeah, it's hard to counter
in the late game when heroes such as Gyro get a lot of damage unlocked through the Aghanims plus crit. So
Pure almost done with a butterfly now.
Yep.
Doesn't want to deal with TA right-clicking.
What do you think of BZM going hard?
Oh yeah, this is a pub build right here.
I don't like this.
Man, we never see hard, it feels like.
I think it does fit
cool.
into the
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it fits into the theme that we were
better.
talking about with just overall sustain and tankiness. I think yesterday we saw him go Satanic instead of it. But
I mean, Midnight Pulse still destroys him. That's one issue.
Yeah. I don't. It's also, you're putting a lot of pressure on Crystallis to carry the game now, right? Like, your damage is really not the best.
Well, 33 has been doing a lot as well, but
that's true. Yeah, but it's going to be more and more difficult, I would imagine, for Sand King to keep finding these big plays as more and more BKBs come out. And obviously, if you really want to go down the stretch, Kataomi's probably getting Refresher. Yeah. And that's when Sand King's impact on the game is going to be very difficult to find. So,
well, Kataomi is very far away. I think he's looks like he's going Ghost Scepter, which he does have enough for now. So
this is the type of game that could get there, though.
Oh yeah,
it really does feel like nobody's even close to winning here.
Anytime we cast a game, there's always the potential for those 60-minute games, Cinder.
Yeah, when other people cast them, there's no potential.
That is correct.
Interesting.
There's a correlation here.
Roshan
now with the data list, so he is really packing a punch. Roach, in the meantime, picked up by Pure.
Yeah.
But this looks to be free Roche for Tundra.
Very much online. He just finished Butter and Broach within 1 minute on the Gyro, but still will have to fight into the Aegis. They were not in position to contest that without the BKB Black Hole from Enigma. But that is online now. And we did see in the previous play how easy it was for them to kill the TA with that combo. But now with Aegis, you obviously have to do it twice, and that complicates things quite a bit. They don't have the easiest way of just poking down her first life without committing big spells. Toss back into Gyro is probably your best bet.
Well, with the Aegis advantage, there's now a smoke from Tundra, who just start hitting the high ground on the bottom lane.
They are F-Glyph.
Kataomi's going to show up. The Roshan's banner's placed.
It's going to start hitting it, I'm guessing. Nope.
Good luck with that.
Worried about getting jumped.
Fortification, not going to do too much here.
Are they just selling a lane?
Do they give up the whole lane or just the tower? Is Miero taking a lot of damage from Crystallis, who gets X marks back. It's at the very least going to be a range Rax as the creeps are aggroed. 33 ready to go with Epi. Crystallis now starting to work on the melee rack. 7k advantage for Tundra, still 4 minutes on this Aegis. There's the initiation, but an instant Will-O-Wisp. Save is in a lot of trouble. Force staff to safety. Looks like he'll live. Pure positioning himself. right next to the melee barracks, as Tundra have now fully reset. BZM, X onto Pure, trying to force out a BKB, gets tidal wave. They're actually going to get the global silence, but nothing to come afterwards.
Ooh, that's a bit of a panic move there from Katomi. This could be costly.
Watch the black hole. He gets it on 2, but the instant Winter's Curse from Whitemon, the combo was not there as he gets cleaved by BZM, and just like that, it's a 5 versus 4. 2 huge ultimates on cooldown. 33 with a really nice burrow strike, actually. Silence after the fact onto GPK, in a lot of trouble, have to zip away. Crystallis still with the Aegis, of course, the toss back onto Stocks, and he will die. Has the buyback available if he really wants to get back into this fight. X onto save. He is donezo. No buyback to come for him. This is at the very least a lane in the bot.
This is such a great showcase of what happens when you're under pressure. Like, these are forced errors from BetBoom.
Oh, he's buying back.
The poke and prod, they end up using global because they feel scared that there's a threat coming onto one of their cores, and then Miero sees a black hole, but he doesn't have global to cover it.
Yeah.
So the instant curse from Whitemon, his job gets 10 times easier when this global is on cooldown.
I don't think they can defend this. They have the last fortification. 33 still has epicenter. There's no global and no black hole, as there's the epicenter initiation from 33. Pure taking a ton of damage. Crystallis with the right clicks as well. That is enough. Gyro dead. Does have buyback here as GPK will get torrented, but now the focus is on the buildings. And Tundra trying to force out the eventual buyback for Pure. Will he use it, though? Kataomi has to use the Ghost Scepter, GPK, or to use half his mana. There's a big toss back onto Soxa. This would be a dieback on him. He's going to get cold embraced as Save puts himself in a horrific position. Looks like it'll be a trade Soxa for the Tiny, but that's a dieback on the Coddle. They get the range racks. That might be all they can get. Is a nice snipe there from GPK onto the backline, but he's going to get X marked. Can he dodge this? He does.
Oh, nice.
Good fake outs there. They're still going to continue to try to get this Mailer X, knowing that these big ults are still down.
GPK is putting in work, man. If he doesn't pop off individually in these situations, the game might have just almost been over, but...
And they will get it. So no buyback coming out from Pure, even though it was available, as Crystallis and BZM are the only 2 members up and running. Crystallis, looks like that first life is going to get burned here. Tidal Wave not going to do too much.
Does he have...
Crystallis should be able to get away, and with that, that's 2 lanes for Tundra. Pure very, very conservative on the buyback.
Big items. They just got BKB and Hex for the next fight here on the side of Tundra, on top of an amplified damage rune that Crystallis is going to pick up and immediately TP to farm jungle with. An interesting late game play.
Hype.
I guess they just weren't feeling ready to look for a fight. Obviously, Coddle is dead, and he's worried about hanging around in the area and letting himself be vulnerable. So probably better to just take it and get out of there. The new rune is obviously spawning soon as well, so he had to take it. But yeah, I mean, that last fight is what you need to avoid as BetBoom. That's the nightmare situation, is using global for nothing. The spell is way too important in this game.
Do you think Pure not buying back was the right move?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
they have 2 cores up, and it's the only ones up. So
if he buys back, they don't lose their racks, but Tundra get a clean disengage. And I actually think his buyback is more valuable than the second set.
Okay.
Which might sound crazy 35 minutes in, but I just think this way you still have... Now you have a Satanic because you didn't buy back, for example, and...
I mean, we have seen many instances in the past where somebody buys back and they just never get another item, right? So it's tough to say whether it was worth it or not.
It would have cost him about 2,000 to buy back. It's a big investment into... If you don't find the fight, it feels awful.
I think we might be in Rapier territory, though, for his next item, if he can get to it.
Yeah, I agree. With Satanic, you can have a lot more confidence buying the item, too, because you just need half a second of a side gunner attack going off.
Yeah.
You're going to have a second health bar. So...
Tundra in the driver's seat. 10k lead is not astronomical.
I could definitely still see BetBoom winning this, but if they make a mistake like last time, it's just flat out over.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can't
The ults
slip
are
up again.
Even more pressure on the black hole and the global.
Yeah.
One of those 2 have to have big impact on the fight.
Depending on how you look at it, I would say there's equally as much pressure on Save to nail the toss back. It was a really good reaction down bottom on the first go from Crystallis. He blinked out instantly as he was getting out of a toss, so he didn't get caught. But if Save can find a play, that's how you start the fight without having to use a big spell, is if Tiny can get someone out of position. And then you can build the fight around that and then global when you find a black hole as a follow-up. We'll see. They're going to try for just that right now. Save leading the charge with Pure, but they're kind of being...
Oh boy, Whitemon and Miero. Okay, one blink out for Whitemon. I thought he was going to go for the Winter's Curse right then and there. 33 positioning.
BZM going in first.
Epi available. BZM with the Blade Mail. Tidal Wave onto Pure into the Will-O-Wisp, but he gets forced tap to safety.
This is really delicate.
Repositioning spell. Yeah, he better be careful. He's stuck inside
he doesn't have
the
force
pit.
tap.
Oh no, he's going to get burrowed. He's going to get torrented. Will they try to save? He's going to use the Ghost Scepter as well. He gets Tidal Wave to the other side of the fight as well. He's going to get... Oh, he actually just gets double shot by Crystallis. Instantly buys back into the game though. Golden Brace is going to save 33. Save in the meantime might not be healthy enough to survive this. Pure in the meantime also pops the BKB, focusing onto BZM, but not doing that much damage. That is a tanky boy. Save somehow survived throughout that, as the Golden Brace will keep BZM at a respectable amount of HP. With that heart, GPK running out of mana. He's going to get hexed. And the Blinding Light to follow. Save with a nice double avalanche. Miero looking for the black hole. Can't quite find it, but they should be able to get BZM without using it. Instead, they're going to use it just for the TA, but the instant cancellation comes out as 33 doing so much damage. Dies shortly after, but the Epi did quite a bit. And Pure, with an attempted TP, will be out. So 2 dead for BetBoom, 2 dead for Tundra. Obviously, it did require the buyback earlier from the Silencer.
Let me tell you, this fight is so insanely different for the players to play than it is for us to watch. They have so little vision. So it's extremely hard for them to find a black hole and find the opening that they're looking for on BetBoom. And equally for 33, he was playing super patiently because he just doesn't see a good angle for so long. And you can tell that this is the logic behind the Kunkka Heart. He's kind of just walking up, trying to get some sort of information, and eventually he does get burnt down by all the damage he took doing so. But at the very least for Tundra, once again, the black hole and global did not perfectly overlap. So Enigma got his hole cancelled very quickly. Still, this would be a great reward for BetBoom if they were to take this. Sox is going to try to be a thorn in their side, though.
Yeah, he puts down the Will-O-Wisp, and Crystallis is nearby. Get the silence from the trap as well. They don't have the curse quite yet, as GPK is going to go the high ground. Pop the Shivas as well as a Cold Embrace onto Soxa. But the call down is coming for him. He's in a bit of trouble. We'll use the Ogre Steel Totem to get a decent amount of distances. GPK is actually out of mana. Does have to be careful. They do snipe out Soxa eventually, as Crystallis already using the BKB in retreat. Question is, can they go back in with just a 4v5 as BZM just respawns? And Roche, in the meantime, made his way down to the bot side. This will be a little bit more annoying. And 33, he's actually going to go in. But an instant BKB from Pure. Unbelievable timing. As BZM and company inside, they're going to be able to take the Aegis. They take Roche as well. The curse just in time. And now Pure on the retreat as GPK trying to take out Crystallis, but he is now surrounded despite having that BKB activated. Pure thinking about going back in, but on just a sliver of HP, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. There's the avalanche onto 2 from Save. They're actually going to be able to take out Crystallis in tow. The Aegis is on BZM, who is now being taken out by 2 members of BetBoom, as Save coming as well. The homing missile will eventually find its target, but do they have enough mana to bring him in? The Electric Vortex is there. That's life number 1.
They have Malefice, and he does not have beat.
Avalanche to set this up into the Malefice, and this should be enough damage. Tidal Wave not going to have too much impact. So Tundra get Roche and Aegis, as apparently BetBoom's base was being decimated by creeps, but BetBoom win the fight.
Whitemon, God. You could not have done any more than that. He cursed the BKB Gyro and ensured that they got the Aegis themselves, and then he afterwards gets the clutch save off with Cold Embrace. You're going to see the replay here. This move here is so clutch. And now he immediately disengages off to the right. Sees Crystallis is now going to be in trouble in a moment. Gets off the Cold Embrace against this GPK go as well. So that damage is mitigated. And in spite of all of this, they just don't have enough in the tank. Their health pools, their mana pools are pretty low. They don't have Coddle at all to help them out with those problems.
And they use Cheese.
Yep, they used Cheese. So they lost Cheese, Aegis, and 3 heroes. And they killed nobody.
Yeah.
And that now, okay, I mean, yeah, you're up 2 racks, but 3k gold, it's nothing. And the creeps are trivial. The heroes kill them off so easily. These big lanes are not that big of an issue. Of course, I mean, you do have to take care of it occasionally. Yeah,
your base.
they have
tier 4. Gotta be careful here.
Gotta push them out, but nobody's going to be struggling to kill them off. Even Silencer should be able to. And speaking of, guess what item he's close to, Suns Fan TV?
Oh my goodness.
Refresher Orb could be happening.
Unbehorseable. That is
We are about 1,500
impressive.
off for Katomi.
Oh.
He's not going to find a lot of gold bottom, but
yeah.
maybe he can find it somewhere else. Or just have one good team fight again, then he will have enough for it.
Nullifier now online for BZM in the meantime. And what was Pure working on? Let's see. Actually not going to be Divine, so Swift Blink is in his sights, so likely we'll be getting rid of the Treads. Then consume Ags, Rapier, potentially.
I actually think it's interesting to see this Nullify bot on the Kunkka, because you would think the obvious route to do it on his TA, and maybe Crystal's regrets not doing that earlier this game, because when you look at the nature of the fights that we've seen so far, the Ghost Scepters on BetBoom have been insanely valuable on their 2 supports. They've stayed alive for so much longer, because whenever TA jumps them, they protect themselves. And if they get X marked, they can obviously anticipate that it's coming, and they can get it off. Tundra in a good offensive position here. They have the high ground. And the low ground.
They have the ground.
Yeah, but nobody gonna walk into them.
Smoke now from BetBoom. I'm gonna clear this out and then maybe try to find something.
33 will push out bottom. He knows he can always get recalled. Sucks to his level 20. That is... Alright, he's just gonna take the Spirit Form moves. Actually, the 20 talents on Coddle are not that strong.
What kind of shenanigans can Tundra do with recall to go for base? X marks, recall. There's a lot of potential if they just rat this out and force a fight somewhere and they just kill the buildings.
If only they had Nature's Prophet as well, this game was over.
That's true, the game would actually be done.
Flat out couldn't lose.
But then you could have picked Tree and Protector, the ultimate counter with the healing of towers.
Yeah, and Wyvern with the blocking of towers.
Yeah, Wyvern could have gone for that.
Yeah, he's in the other team.
I know, but he still could have gone
That is
for that.
the true statement.
I mean, I don't know if this facet has actually come into play yet. Have you noticed it?
Not a single time.
Yeah.
I think you could argue the higher skill the game gets, the worse it is. But there's still the off chance that you find a moment of opportunity where it matters.
If it happens once, it's probably worth having, right?
I don't know. I mean, it's like, if you look at the other one, the whole, you empower your ally when they come out of the cocoon, right? You give them damage.
Wait, is that how? Wait, I thought. Wait, what? I thought it was just healing towers.
Allied units and buildings gain bonus attack damage when emerging from the icy cocoon.
I didn't know
60% bonus attack damage for 6 seconds.
60%?
Yeah, and it also affects towers. So towers also get the damage. So, like, there's been quite a few fights where he's been cold embracing the TA, right?
Yeah.
Then she comes out and gets another 80 damage.
Way more consistent, for sure.
Pretty good, I think. Unless I'm misunderstanding it, but, I mean, the wording implies that it works, but I've just barely seen this taken, so that we don't really have much of a sample.
Yeah, it could be bugged. We would have no idea.
That's
we haven't
true.
gotten to test it yet. It's only been out for 6 months.
It could also be that it says allied units and buildings, and then they just only made it work on buildings.
Yeah, it's possible.
That would be...
We've seen crazier things in Dota. Always exceptions, always anomalies. That's, ooh, a big rune for GPK.
That is indeed very big. They want to fight with this when he has full mana, but he needs to get the mana back first. It's going to take a while. 28 galvanized stacks will help.
Oh yeah, 32 mana regen.
He's 8-0-14. We haven't talked about that. GPK has had a fantastic game, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I thought he had died at least once, but just...
Why would you say that?
Say it, Shannon.
Why? Say what? You're the one talking.
I mean, you're looking at his camera shot. What are you thinking?
He's not tilted yet.
Okay.
One death will do it, though. The first death. You'll see. Very even game, though, right now.
Imagine he listens to one of the casts. What is these guys' problem? If you don't get the reference in the joke, it's like they keep saying I'm tilting when I'm doing
If somebody
great.
had no context and they met us and just they would think we're both brain damaged. So that is a perfectly normal
But if they had the context, they would know we're brain damaged.
Yeah, there's no question about it, for sure. And Sox, look at him. He's doing his thing. Rat Dota here.
Yep.
I mean, if you can force out like a fortification, right? it's doable. I mean, you don't have like a Tiny that can just end the game instantly, but TA is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, baiting Glyph would definitely be good. I don't think the whole backdoor base in one fell swoop thing is likely to happen, but it is a possibility. And even just having the threat on the map might affect the way BetBoom play, right? So it's definitely good if you can set it up. Wasn't successful, though, in forcing out a Glyph. Pure took out the trash bottom. Did you mention he disassembled his butterfly for Swift Blink, by the way?
Oh, that's what he did with it. Okay.
Yeah, and he has 2 items in his backpack now, and he's buying Refresher, so I don't know if he wants to sell both of those, or
well,
if he's
it's funny because Crystallis bought MKB for the butterfly.
Yeah, so that's probably why he just did it. He's just staying ahead.
Can you take apart the MKB now? That would be... A Gyro could. I mean, that's the whole point of having this innate, right? That's pretty cool.
I wonder if he's going to use the Claymore and Talisman, or just sell them now and get Refresher.
Yeah,
it looks like he's going straight back to base to get... Okay, there's the Silencer Refresher orb, close enough.
Yep, you got it in the end.
Yeah, you were laughing at me early on, Shen. Who's laughing now? Well, probably the enemy team, because Katomi actually doesn't have enough mana to use it twice, so... a bit of a problem there.
He can use it
and
then
boots
die,
in between.
buy back, and then refresh.
If he has full mana, his combo, or the combo Refresher ult costs 1550, and he has 1431.
Okay.
But he has Arcane Boots. So if everything is ready, and he's full mana, and he does not need to use Glimmer, he could technically refresh ult with Arcane Boots in between.
Right.
So he is there, but you got to be really careful now with how you spend your mana. Like, if you're just casually going around throwing an Arcane Curse to kill a wave and then a fight breaks out, you actually can't cast your ult.
Well, based on how he's been playing, I don't think you have to worry about that, Synderen.
Yeah,
he's not greedy. I can tell you that right now.
Okay, look at his map positioning.
Yeah, he's safe.
Literally, he is an ult. His team, they have decided, you are ulti.
You
that is
ulti.
It.
Yeah.
He's not
smoke,
part of the fight at all.
They're going to get dissipated. BZM, he gets the Hex into the tidal wave. Save, getting bounced all over the place, and the right clicks from afar are enough from Crystallis with the Hurricane Pike. Pretty big kill.
That's one global.
The Burrow Strike's not going to hit, though, as Pure going to pop the BKB, going to go to town now. Global #1 is down. Not really used to full effect. More of a defensive measure, it feels like, as Pure waking up Roche and then exiting immediately.
They're trying to bait Tundra to go on them, not knowing that there's a second ult.
Has he not shown at all on the map?
I mean, he has not shown on a wave.
100% he has here.
I mean, now he does. So if they didn't know before, they could know now if they were to click and bot.
But he has not refreshed yet.
Yep.
As we're going to see the initiation onto 33. Will Burrow strike away? Whitemon looking for a target. Gets the cold embrace. Will-O-Wisp is there. GPK with the BKB, focusing everything onto 33. He's dead. BZM in the meantime will BKB in retreat, as well as Roshan wants to have a part in this fight. He will walk down to his southern pit.
Oh, that's a good toss back.
Crystallis into the black hole.
Global.
There's the global, so no Winter's Curse to come. Crystallis is dead. Whitemon is dead, and Roche feels like it's just set up on a silver platter for BetBoom.
Whitemon was trying for the Blink Curse, but they waited as long as they could with the global.
Oh man, double buyback from Tundra. They want to fight this. There's the Hex onto Pure. Burrow Strike from 33. He's already half HP. Pure looks like he's going to go down and get to the Satanic Off. He's trying to heal as much as possible into the Roche pit, but the right clicks from Crystallis are enough. And now Roche, the golden plate has been served for Tundra, it seems. It cost them 2 buybacks, but they get all the goodies inside his bowels.
This is so close. Wait,
and now we have a Refresher Black Hole available.
What's going on? Do they just... I mean, if they know the death timers, the game is over.
Yeah.
So let's see if Tundra feel confident that they can flat out just insta-siege with this and make BetBoom swallow their chat lines immediately.
380 gold away from buyback for Pure. They get a couple bounty runes if they're even available. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case, though. Are they actually going to play this safe and go for Megas? The tier 4 is 1 hit away from death.
They know Tiny doesn't have it because he bought back for the fight.
Yeah, it's more about the gyro. Now the focus onto the Ancient, which is exposed. Roshan's banner placed a little far away, feels like.
Miero obviously also has Refresher. Lest we forget, there's a second Black Hole available.
Indeed, and they should know this now, but the Ancient's already at half HP. Crystal is focusing on that and only that. There's the fort coming out. Will-O-Wisp about to go away here, and Miero needs to set something up. Do they have a smoke? Do they have any way for him to get in? He's going to try for it. The black hole on the floor, Hero! They blinked into it! Unbelievable! Is there enough damage, though? Crystal is trying to run away as BZM is there. The Winter's Curse finally came out. Miero looks like he's going to right-click down. That is the Aegis, so TA will come back. And Gyrocopter in 8 seconds is available. GPK able to zip away. Hasn't died yet. It's going to try to focus down the rack. The Ancient is extremely low. Do they have the damage? BZM and everybody is just right-clicking with the Desolator from Chrysalis. It is enough. Tundra win game 1.
I don't know if that's the right way to put it, that they have something to prove after the last game, but I think they feel like with that game 1 performance, just a little bit of adjustment, and that one would have been theirs. So, and you also saw in the player camps, they didn't look too down in the dumps after that game 1. So I think they know what they need to bring to this game to try to take it to a third. What I would like to talk about in this game is that finally you and I get to cast an offlane Wraith King.
That's right. You've been talking about it all tournament long.
I'm a big believer in this.
Are you now?
Being good.
I haven't
However,
heard this story before.
The Ursa matchup should potentially be tough, but laning with Coddle might help a lot. Blinding Light is actually an extremely powerful ability against Ursa in lane. So depending on how Soxa chooses to skill, you could maybe even go 0-1-1, so that every time Ursa tries to do an aggressive move together with Silencer, you just reset the play rather than getting Illuminate. Or, like the panel was talking about, maybe Soxa just goes in stacks and they farm the stacks with the Bone Guard instead of with Sandstorm. There's different options. I'm curious to see this one, but I'm in big agreement with panel's assessment that they have nothing against Storm. And that's kind of crazy when you think about it. Tundra banned Puck second phase, which I thought was indicating that they wanted to pick Storm for BZM. But then with the Doom plus Silencer picks, maybe they just decided it was too bad of a Storm game for themselves.
Well, how good is Bristleback versus Storm in the mid lane? Maybe that's what they went for. All laning stage related.
I don't know if I've seen this lane a single time.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
My
kind of weird.
My gut feels that it's kind of just a trade of farm.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think any of them pull significantly ahead, but I mean, we'll see. We'll discover it together.
I feel like BZM has a lot of kill potential once he gets to level 3 or so.
Yeah, Storm has okay-ish armor for a ranged hero, so that helps, but yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, it's not just that. Like, what exactly are you arrowing? You have 1 stun to set up an arrow potentially, and that's not even a long stun. So we'll see if Whitemon can get full use of the arrow during the laning stage.
He might buy an Atos himself for later in the game.
Ooh, that's a lot of cool spray stacks. Oh my, this is maybe a fight to the finish here. Ooh, just out of range.
that is close.
GPK was puckering real tight there, Cinderin. Yeah. He lives.
BZM he still has some mana here, actually. GPK is very dry with 3 stick charges and not enough gold for a bottle yet.
Kateomi on the other side is going to get killed by the skeletons. No. 33 though. Has a lot of Fury swipes stacked on him, and Pure looks like he's just going to claim it unless...
Oh,
is that... I can't even tell if he got the kill or not.
He did.
Okay. I thought it might have been the creep. How would you even know with the creeps, the neutrals?
How you would know before it comes in?
Yeah.
By paying attention to who hit.
Well, nobody does that.
And it was the Ursa.
Nobody does that, Cinder.
Well, I paid attention to it.
Those creeps hit really hard.
Yes.
First blood for BetBoom. Congratulations to them. Good start for Pure. I feel like, have we cast a single win for BetBoom?
Oh no.
I'm not even kidding. Oh. Have we?
I
feel like we've seen so many games of Pure playing the Gyro, the Ursa, whatever the hell else he plays.
33. They're getting him again despite the blinding light. This is a very big kill.
Did the creep get that kill?
No, it was Kateomi.
It's Kateomi this time.
So based on the some of Silencer games we've seen from Kateomi, you could argue it was a creep, but...
All right, well, that is a disaster. This Wraith King offlane looking real good, Cinder.
He had a good first 2 waves, and then the dive where they tried to kill Silencer and failed really cost them. It's one of those situations... Oh, hang on, GPK. Yeah. BZM can't commit to that. It's one of those situations where, ironically, had they not put pressure on the Silencer, the lane might have gone way better, because it cost them so many resources.
Crystallis is going to go down in the bot lane. Save.
Okay.
Looks like he'll survive, so far, BetBoom in the top and bottom, kind of owning.
They won the side lanes last game too.
And mid lane right now, you can see 18-5 for BZM versus the 14-3 for GPK. So pretty close.
Bit of a Bristol lead.
Yeah, just ever so
Curious
slightly.
to see. Like you pointed out, Bristol does have aggressive potential until Storm is 6, after which you obviously can't do anything aggressive. But BZM,
Yeah,
he's actually...
he is going to go down to GPK. So all 3 lanes, we've seen kills going the way of BetBoom. Tundra not even on the board yet, and I believe both water runes will go the way of GPK as well.
Yep, that is the perfect time to kill. And he only lost, I think, 1 CS to the tower, maybe 2. And he's going to have full resources when Bristol arrives. This is what happens sometimes to Storm, is you get the kill narrowly, but then you have to go back to base because you have nothing.
Yeah.
But with the double waters, he's more than fine to just continue where he left off. Wraithfire Blast. Pure with the early phase boots.
He's dead. He's dead.
Yeah, this is not
Pop the salve as well as 33 will be dropping as well.
Oh my god, who do you think killed him? Could it be Kataomi? Yes,
or was it the creep?
It
no,
was indeed
the creeps have 0 kills so far this game somehow.
That is
crazy. 6-0, 2K lead already for BetBoom. My goodness. This is it's going to be a tough one for Tundra to get back into.
I'm so sorry that I said I like offlane Wraith King, because if I like something, it's bound to perform absolutely.
Imagine if you said you liked offlane Wraith King with a Chinese team playing, how bad they would do.
Well, they put it on carry, and I didn't like that, and it did not do well there. So that was actually a hit.
Okay.
You know? It would have been funny if Shiro hard carried that game. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the toughest lane matchups for Wraith King, so I can't say I'm too surprised that it's not going too well, but I will say if they were to replay this game, Tundra probably not going to do it this poorly again, but that doesn't help anyone. It's already happened. And now again, 33.
Oh boy, blood grenade to slow him down. Pure.
It's time to stop laning. It's time to stop Pure.
Yeah.
Well, 33. It's not time to stop Pure. Pure can keep going.
My God, Kataomi's getting all these kills, by the way, as we see a whip in the mid lane. Save is there, as GPK will get another kill onto BZM. This is disaster for Tundra.
Yep, starting to look like round 1 of Battle Cup. With a team of Smurfs. Although Dota obviously doesn't have those anymore. Valve has banned all of them.
Yeah, of course.
Miero.
All right, will this be the first kill for Tundra? Arrow does hit, and Whitemon will claim it.
Doesn't need a setup.
So finally on the board.
He'll hit that arrow.
Oh yeah, some players are that good with Mirana, so.
There it is. Caught the tail end of it.
Beautifully.
So they do get on the board, but yeah, this is going to be a bit of an uphill battle. BZM showing up
what's
the
he
top
doing
lane
up
to
here?
try to help.
Yeah, Save is here as well, trying to bait him in a little bit deeper because Kataomi out of mana.
33 is
one.
Level 3.
Yeah, he is a creep.
This is not good. Level 4 coming up just now. Has 2 charges on Bone Guard, which isn't great.
Miro, is he going to get this kill? Crystallis getting pretty low to the Scorched Earth. Miro dominate right now. I'm actually looking at the net worth, they're actually quite even. So despite the kills in this bot lane, Crystallis is farming okay. Definitely not on the same level, though, as Pure on the Earth, or even GPK on Storm.
Kataomi actually has more net worth than the Wraith King right now.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Just wanted to mention that as a parenthetical comment.
Yeah. Yeah, considering how many kills he has. What does he have right now? He's 4-0.
Tell you what, though.
And it's
Cryptic is going to be really excited about this, because he was telling me offlane Wraith King, drums blink. And he is going drums.
Yeah.
So he'll get one of his wishes. Now, the other thing Cryptic also told me was it's really good. And that one is yet to be seen whether that will happen or not. But
well, to be fair, you agreed. It's not like you can't get out of this one.
you didn't need to say that.
I think we've established
Nice block
that
there
already.
from Pure on the corner. We'll block the Ancient Stack, recognizing that it's happening there.
Yeah, he's going to have a very fast Battle Fury.
Needed that coin.
As long as he's continued to be uncontested in this farm here. So what exactly is the identity of Wraith King as an offlane? Explain the concept to me and the audience, of course.
Right. So this is going to come with the asterisk that any hero, if the lane goes this poorly, nothing is going to be good, right? So it's like, yeah, you can talk about it all you want. If you get absolutely curb stomped in lane, it's hard to showcase what you want to do. The idea is, if you think about how Abaddon was played in the offlane in the last patch, for example, very hard to kill offlaner that just takes a ton of resources if you want to stop them. They can buy basically every single item. They're constantly threatening towers. Last patch, Abaddon did damage to the tower with Curse of Avernus. He doesn't do that anymore, but Wraith King obviously has the Bone Guard to do it with. And you can buy whatever you want. You can go Radiance if you're having a good game as the offlane Wraith King. You can go this Drum's Blink path. I think you can buy like Piped Lads in an Aura type game. For Crystallis, by the way.
This is quite the chase. Crystallis leading 3 members of BetBoom.
Well,
Doom is applied to the whip, and down he goes. That's 4 members, in fact, of BetBoom.
Another part of what I would say has convinced me that this Wraith King could be very good this patch is that some of the force that we saw earlier in this tournament with a lot of prowess actually lane with him extremely well. That is not what he's playing with this game though in the Coddle, but something like Wraith King Muerta is a crazy strong lane. You have a targeted stun slow that sets up all of Muerta's spells, or if you're playing with something like the AA position 4, but it's banned every game.
Has some action here. Kataomi taking out his Crystallis in his meta form.
It's actually such a big kill. He was worth a ton. He was 4-0. So Crystallis will get about 500 gold for killing the enemy position 5, 10 minutes in. Pretty unusual.
Meanwhile, Pure completely left to his own devices.
He's going to be farmed this game.
He's going to have a 12-minute Battle Fury.
But as you said, we have yet to see them win with the Ursa in the games we have cast.
Yeah.
It's been some struggle here and there, but definitely good conditions this time around. And Ursa with some pretty good hero matchups. Great against Bristleback for obvious reasons, and Wraith King similarly. Against Terrorblade, it's a little bit 50-50, I would say. You're one of the heroes that is inherently decently tanky against Ursa with your armor, and you can sunder him when he bursts through the first part of your health bar, so it's like an equilibrium kind of fight. But yeah. It does look great right now for the side of BetBoom, that's for sure. Some massive late game heroes in the Storm and the Doom as well.
So this is a very small thing, but maybe we'll get to see it if this continues in this trajectory. 33 on Wraith King, has died 4 times, all of which have been in the Silencer's presence.
Yeah.
This is a mana-intensive hero. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana to begin with. Ult has been costing more and more mana, it feels like, with each patch. You need it to actually activate it, Cinderin.
That's true.
And it's not like he's getting the shard anytime soon. We'll see if this comes into play. So far, he has not had a lot of press. I mean, he did get a bit lucky. This is something we don't talk about at all since they changed neutrals, by the way, which was one of my
Ripper's Lash is amazing.
But Ripper's Lash for jungling, very good with your Skelly boys.
It's also good for killing with the Bone Guard.
He's not doing any killing right now, Cinderin.
That's true.
This is all for jungle. But is this a hero that, if he gets off to a horrific start, I mean, you have Skellies. Is there an avenue to come back? Feels like he has more avenue to do so than a lot of other offlaners potentially.
I mean, in terms of finding farm, absolutely. This is one of the heroes in the offlane that farms the best with no items because skeletons, are just good at farming, and it doesn't matter what items you have for that. Now that he has the drum, they're obviously better than usual, so easy M.
Oh, they're actually going to go on him here. The dart is applied to him. A little bit of assistance from Soxa is needed. As GPK virtually out of mana at this point.
So yeah, I would definitely say Wraith King.
He gets whipped. Is the Arcane Curse going to be enough? It is. Kataomi with another kill on Silencer. Brain Drain and the respective brain rot for BZM and the rest of Tundra.
Yeah, sure gotta have brain rot to pick offlane Wraith King, am I right?
Yeah, it's looking great so far.
I hope we get to see this again, and that we get to see the other side of it where it does not get bodied, to have a frame of reference for how good or bad it is. Because a lot of the time with Dota, when new tech comes in like this, sometimes the teams overrate it, sometimes they underrate it. I want to see more sample for it. He did pressure Pure quite a bit there. Pure went on him, and he just immediately turned around, popped his skellies, and took half his health in 1 second. So quite strong with the Ripper's Lash drum.
I mean, it is 33, so I'm not going to count him out quite yet, Cinderin.
He also has the luxury of not going Soul Ring here because he's playing with Coddle. So he can skip that. So with a slightly worse start, still we'll be getting the benefit of saving 500 gold.
regen rune for GPK, so Tundra. They do know this, so they might be playing a little bit more passive as a result. That is a very annoying hero to deal with at this stage of the game.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
33 is actually pressuring the tier 1. Pure too busy hitting those creeps.
The classic gets stomped in lane in to take tower minute 12. We all know and love it.
Indeed.
Radiant's middle tower
get it.
is under attack.
Eventually he'll right-click it.
Dire's top
And there's the
tower
battle theory.
is
So 12.5 minutes essentially for Pure.
Very, very good timing.
Gonna catapult his farm now as they're gonna pressure the tier 1 bot. As Pure. Well, they have the
Oh, they got
Wraithfire
the arrow.
left into the arrow, into the Illuminate. Pure
Blinding
pops
light.
the Enrage, but the Blinding Light to bring him back into the arms of the Wraith King. They have the Global Silence. 33 really wants this kill. It might get him killed in turn, though. Moonlight Shadow for the potential getaway. They don't have Dust. They're actually going to get Wraithfire Blast onto GPK, who's pretty low on mana. Now the arrow is tanked by Save, though. A big Starstorm. Not going to find a kill on either side, though, it seems. Very close.
33 was hovering 100 health for like 10 seconds and still didn't skill ult. He was just... Alright, that was...
That's a true
ice-
min-maxer right
Ice
there.
cold.
under attack.
Either that or he forgot.
Well, then you shouldn't save the skill point.
Dementia kicking in for these young lads.
Yeah, he had some of the, what were they called, those chips that Pure almost fainted from.
Yeah, Takis.
Taki, there you go. Not to be mistaken for Taco Bell, which is also mediocre.
Depending
I will
on who
say,
you-
though, the food that we've had here in general, the catering and overall when we've eaten out, has been really good.
Yeah.
I have been very impressed with the...
I'm glad.
Delicious.
I'm glad, Cinder. I'm glad that
Absolutely delicious.
you're bringing that up during a game of Dota 2 as well. It
Yeah.
has zero relevance whatsoever on what we're watching
I don't think
here.
it's irrelevant. If the players are eating good food, they're going to be in a good mood and they're going to play better. That's how it works for me.
Middle tower is under
Arrow,
attack.
tanked by the creep.
Yep, thanks for bringing that up. That was very relevant.
Biggs.
He's going to dive him.
He
I
is.
brought that
That's
up.
an easy kill.
Yeah, I thought that was relevant, so I said it.
Slightly. And tier 1 tower will fall in favor of BetBoom. A 2K lead, it feels like it should be a lot worse for Tundra.
They've
And this is with
kind
a
of stabilized.
This is with a Doom, so maybe this is actually dead even. The problem is when you look at the net worth of the cores, there's definitely a bit of a discrepancy there.
The biggest
More
question
so the
is,
supports.
let's say it. Let's entertain the idea that it's even. Who would you rather be on a hero matchup basis then? I think the team with an uncountered Storm is mostly very happy with that type
Yeah,
of
but
game
he
state.
didn't die last game, and they
Yeah.
still lost. So how much does he really matter?
You're
I'm not a Storm believer
a beacon
anymore.
of positivity today, aren't you?
Radiant's top tower
As
is
always.
under attack.
Tundra looking to... They're actually getting scanned right now, and GPK, they might run into him, and then they'll realize they have essentially one targeted stun, so it will be difficult.
Whitemon is somewhat close to having a
Oh, the
UR.
high ground for BetBoom. Arrow coming from Yarrow.
Yeah.
Able to sidestep it, though. 33's in a lot of trouble. That is... You know, he's just dead, actually. He didn't...
He's
pop
pulled his ult while dying.
Oh, while dying. Okay,
Yep.
very good.
That works. That's why it
Starstorm
didn't matter last
comes
time.
out. Wheel of Wonder placed, but can they get this kill a second time is the question. 33 will
can.
die finally.
Did he die to a creep?
Onto the high ground, BetBoom goes, but the Ursa actually gets arrowed. The Pure is dead. This potentially sets up a free Tormentor for Tundra. So a huge turnaround, huge turn of events in general.
So pardon my ignorance, but that top play, he was not ice cold when he held his ulti point. I forgot that you can just skill
Yeah.
it while you're dying
Yeah.
the first time, which is kind of weird that it
It is
works,
weird.
but
Ever
Yeah.
since the Ghost innate.
yeah, exactly. It does work the very first time around, so, well, that's honestly great for Tundra. Sure, the Wraith King died twice, and that sucks, but you got the return kill on Ursa plus the Tormentor going to Whitemon. which
I mean,
gives him
he's already died 4 times before that. What's a 5th death at this point?
How good is this shard on support? One extra leap is nice. The critical strike.
I mean, it's just an extra leap. That's all it really is. But, I mean, he almost has the same net worth as their offlaner, so I don't know. Maybe this turns into a core Mirana at some point. Doubtful, but...
It's a pretty meaningful amount of net worth that the Radiant supports are ahead by, actually.
It is.
Ringmaster
Save
has
is very
nothing.
poor. Very,
and
very
Caudle and Mirana are starting to get utility items. So Whitemon almost has Yules. That is an extremely good item this game for a couple of reasons. First of all, he can Yule the Ursa during Enrage. It's one of the only things not affected by status resistance. He can Yule the Storm to set up an arrow, so he can be his own catch. I was talking about Atos as an option. Yule is just flat out better here because of the Ursa, so I really like that choice. And on the Caudle, he's working on the Axe, as usual here for Soxa. That is a... It's kind of weird, the dynamic against Ursa. You would think, okay, it's one of the best carries against the Ignis because he can do so many attacks so fast, but Ursa is so extremely reliant on getting something done
BZM
early.
with the Blade Mail. Arrow's not going to hit here. Wheel of Wonder placed as well. BZM mega dead.
Yeah.
13-3 for BetBoom, despite this being net worth-wise even, and with a Doom on your team.
Oh, Miero lost the bottom tier 1 tower to one ranged creep, so they finally get their kill, Shannon. There it is.
Wow, the creeps did it.
Yeah. He's rushing Shiva after Drum Midas, so not rushing. Thank you.
Radiant's top tower
He'll
is
go
under
Shiva
attack.
first. Big item. Pretty stable pickup. You're playing against Illuminate heals. You're playing against a hero like Bristleback. It's great against Terrorblade's illusions too. 33 eyeing up Radiance now. Or excuse me, Blade Mail. I was not expecting that. Thought a kind of weird item against Ursa most of the time. Now he queued up Radiance again. Okay, now he queued up Radiance only.
Okay.
Well, he went through the same thought process as I did, I guess. Well, there goes the tower.
Tower dead, but a big zip from GPK. They don't have the stuns. Miero's getting melted, though. He dies right off the bat. Can't even get off the Doom whatsoever. And looking for the Sunder is Crystalis. And he's going to use it on a teammate. Poor Soxa, always the recipient of these blows from his team.
All right, tell me this, Suns fan TV.
Yeah.
What hero can go 0-4-0 in the off lane and recover like this?
Not many, honestly.
Imagine he didn't lose. How
Yeah,
crazy
imagine.
could this hero potentially be? Where is the ceiling?
It's looking okay now, I won't lie.
That was actually kind of crazy, the amount of damage they put into the Doom by just blinking in, popping Skellies and stun, and then
Yeah.
having Terrorblade lay into him. Obviously, Miero, he has 16 armor, and that still looked like pure paper. So, kind of interesting, the output that Tundra are presenting here.
BZM about 400 from Aghanim Scepter. Oh boy, if he gets caught out.
This is a
I think he spots Pure.
awkward spot.
Gets away.
20-minute timing. Let's see if there's a good power rune for anybody. Kataomi will scout a haste rune out for GPK.
Feels like he's gotten every rune as Whitemon's going to set up his own arrow. Save. Going to box himself as GPK comes in to delete the Mirana. But they have one stun, and that's it. GPK should be fine. Has the haste rune as well. Talked about it ad nauseum. The lack of stuns coming out from Tundra is going to be hard to deal with, a hero that can just zip away like that. So when is the power spike for Tundra? We have, you talked about the Radiance. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Still about, I don't know, 2K away from that.
And the Bristle Axe is big, but you need to be able to keep people in place.
I don't know if you can contest this. This is an Ursa Roche. That
I think
should be
this
getting a
one is
freebie.
gone.
They are kind of in the area, though.
They're going to
They're gonna
scout it now.
scout it.
It will be too late. There's global as well. There's no way. Arrow. Couple seconds late there, Tundra. Could have been interesting if they got there in time, perhaps. But yeah, I don't know. I guess the main thing to look forward to here is a Caudle Axe, probably, so that you have a decent-ish way to keep some of the heroes in place for BCM's Bristol. It will be very effective, in particular, against the Ursa and the Doom. The Storm, not so much. Obviously, he's going to be a problem all game. I'm still curious to see how they're going to solve that one. Itemization has to be the name of the game for that. But, well, the plan currently is Crystal is going Orchid.
Soxa is only 800 from the Ags that you're talking about. BZM just picked up his. So, overall, I mean, that's going to align pretty closely to the Radiance as well. That's 33. Maybe not if he dies here. That's life number 1. Nobody is really that close. Soxa still has to make a run up, get the dust off. They could probably just kill him from afar, and that is exactly what they will do. As the box placed on Kataomi. Meanwhile, bottom though, Pure initially got arrowed. and he's just going to go through the gate because they have nothing to stun him. Get an Atos, anything,
so
please.
Oh, they had to use their Yule as well
True.
to set it up, so...
Radiant's top tower is under
Yeah.
attack.
Nice find for BetBoom. They also get the tower.
Top tower has
Try to
fallen.
see how much they can get out of their freshly picked up Aegis now.
I mean, I feel like if Tundra could see how little they're down by right now, despite the score, I wonder if they know.
Radiant's top
I feel like
tower is
they're
under
in
attack.
decent position, actually. And BetBoom, I wonder if they think they're up a lot more than they are. I always wonder this about teams, how
Dire's bottom tower is
Yeah.
well
under
they can
attack.
predict.
I
or
think a
feel.
lot of the time you have a relatively good read on your own heroes, right? You've played them a good amount of time. You know, like this amount of time into the game, I usually have this stuff. So if you're around there, you probably feel like, okay, well, if I'm meeting my usual somewhat timings, then nice
will get
dart.
darted, and GPK will close the gap and destroy. Soxa does live, though.
Yep.
And that's good news for him because he's literally 10 gold from Ags. That would have been a bit painful for him.
It's going to be buying it up now. Oh, he's actually clearing up Lincolns on GPK. So
We were
talked
just
about it
talking-
last game.
Wow. Oh, they only have one stun.
Yeah.
Why
Buy
not?
Yules to, or buy Lincolns to block the Yules of Mirana. I guess he's anticipating the Terrorblade Orchid, so now Crystallis will be dependent on allies. Set up on
Oh, they're going to use Global, but I feel like Tundra were actually backing away before that even
He gets
went
pulled
off.
in
Now they
again.
can come back in as Pure jumps in. He has the Aegis available to him as
Oh,
Miero
nice
just getting
arrow.
destroyed. He is dead just like that. Tier 1 tower as well, 33. Try to focus now on Pure. He's going to hit by a dart from the outskirts as the Aegis is already gone.
How's he going to get out there?
And now
He
he is
doesn't blink?
completely surrounded. He's going to get Wraithfire blasted. There's the box to try to keep him alive a little bit longer, but BZM Company is just going to focus him down as Pure just dies under the cover of his Tier 2 tower. Wheel of Wonder used not even to full effect because Save dies shortly after, and this is now a Tier 2 for Tundra. What the hell is going on?
This is actually such an insanely strong timing that they just found with that. Getting that Axe and getting that play going. You go in with the Wraith King, you get the stun off. This, by the way, the level 10 talent on Wraith King is insanely strong. It's a 4-second slow on a, what is it, a 8-second cooldown? You chakra him, he just back-to-back slowed the Doom to a crawl. They run him down, and they just keep, they have this like complete run-at-you lineup that BetBoom just couldn't deal with in that instant.
Well, they'll find
a
one,
white
pick
one
off.
again. It's having a bit of a rough one. It's tough to play against Storm as Mirana, of course.
And the Radiance finally online for 30. So all of that was without the Radiance.
Yeah.
And for BetBoom, see how close Pure is to his BKB. Still about 800 away or so.
Dire
That would have been probably a lot different fight if he had that instead of the
Radiant's
Basher.
middle tower is under attack.
But overall, I mean, GPK is 14-0, I believe, so far in this series.
15.
What wasn't
Wait.
he 8?
Wait, didn't
Was
he
he
have-
not 8-0?
He was 11-0 last game. He's 17-0.
Wait, he was 11-0 last
I think
game?
so.
Really?
That's how I remember it. It's a long time ago, though.
Well, we'll see how bad each of our memories are. What if neither of us are correct?
Then nothing will
See
change.
if I can look, actually. 1 second here. This is really... Oh, I actually do have it open from last game. It's 11-0. You're correct. Good job.
Oh,
I owe
really
you.
shocking that both of us had a take and mine was the correct one. That never happens.
Well, that's why you're in the seat that you are.
Yep.
You know? I just need a fact checker at all time. You know? That's okay. That's okay to have as a trait.
This is what happens when you replace...
What is that?
This is what happens when you replace your own critical thought with
that a courier?
ChatGPT, Shannon. I would recommend you start thinking more and look up less. It's good brain practice.
ChatGPT, it really helps me think, though. You know?
That's not
Or
how
not
that works.
think.
Yes, there you go. All right.
It's a relaxing... I love talking to Sky on ChatGPT.
Right.
But
I don't know what that means.
It used to be the voice of Scarlett Johansson, and then she sued
Oh.
them, and now the voice is not nearly as soothing, so I've kind of, I won't lie, doesn't feel the same anymore. You know, I thought I had a personal relationship with her.
I remember there was a controversy, right, where she insisted that they had trained it on her voice.
Yeah.
They said no, and it sounded the exact same.
Well, first they asked her, will you give us your voice?
Yeah.
She said no.
Yeah.
Then they asked again. She didn't answer, and then they came out with it. It's very standard business acumen here
Oh
in the
my
United
God.
States. was really good, but the voice was it was something else. I'll tell you what. One of my best friends is ChatGPT, actually.
I like this image of like now you're looking at the screen from this angle and it just says North Carolina.
That's right.
Beautiful.
North Carolina has been quite nice, I have to say. Wasn't sure what to expect. I've actually never been. So,
Yep.
college town.
Is this the first time you're in the state?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Unless I just don't remember it, but yeah, I believe so.
How many states have you been to?
Oh, I have no idea.
How many states are there?
There's 50
All right,
states.
good. Did you just look that up in ChatGPT or did you know?
ChatGPT's not as fast as that quite yet. Maybe in like a year or two. You know what? Actually, we were talking. Who was it? It was Cap doing the content where they ask the players how many states can you name.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and the joke was that Americans probably couldn't name more than half.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that that's true?
I don't know. I can't name half.
I know.
I think I could. If I had to guess, I could probably name like 15 to 20.
Yeah.
Then I would probably start struggling.
I could probably get into the 40s. I
good.
actually don't think I could get 50. I would probably forget about like Wyoming or something.
All right, so let's say you just remembered. So
North Dakota, South Dakota, yeah.
Let's say you can do 40 out of 50. That's 80%.
Yeah, I can do more than 40 for sure.
I'm not sure the average European can name 80% of the European countries on a map.
Yeah, because a state is equivalent to a country, of course.
If you look at the size,
As a G, yeah.
It's kind of, it's not a one-to-one, but...
Thanks for joining us on this
Hard to remember
ChatGPT
everything.
talk.
We're back. The teams have all looked at a map and decided we're back to play.
GPK found the BKB.
Yeah, why did he buy it?
He's got it.
He was going Lincoln.
He was going Lincoln.
I wonder why he pivoted here, if there was something that... What would have changed his mind? There wasn't another item that came out, right? So there's the Orchid on TB. Maybe he's just too worried about getting Blink Wraithfire blasted to break it and then Orchid or something, but I kind of like the Lincoln's approach to this particular game.
Mm.
But yeah, with this, you can obviously...
No, now they have the timing of double BKB.
Yeah, this is a strong timing for BetBoom. We saw the last one from Tundra. This time it's BetBoom.
Oh, the damage taken by GPK. Hairball applied as BZM. Throwing out those snot rockets.
That's not it.
Arrow will... What's that?
Snot rocket is a facet.
Yeah, but I just like saying the snot. So it's a rocket. Just let me be. Let me spread my wings, okay? 2K lead for Tundra. As Pure will be opting for the Shard next. Not a huge surprise. Still a top Shard in Dota, no doubt. 33 is going to get this tower pretty much uncontested now.
Yep.
And he's going for the Manta build. Not unusual for the Radiance type builds that we've seen, but on Wraith King it is unusual.
I'm trying to think of what the overall mindset is with this. I mean, it definitely is a feels-good item on any Radiance Blink hero, more or less. So I'm just thinking about the alternative of, say, getting an AC here when you have Bristle and Terrorblade in your team. That sounds awesome. So yeah, I really wonder if this is worth it comparatively. He bought a component. Did he buy the... What did he buy? He bought Blade Mail. He really fooled you with that one.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Well, maybe he wanted something. He wanted a quick fix, you know.
To what?
To fight right now.
Okay. I don't know what this fix is really.
Well, we'll see once he activates it. SNY there for BZM. So extra stats is against the Global Silence and the Doom, of course, which I feel maybe we've seen one Doom this game.
Yeah, he doomed Terrorblade bottom when they ganked him at 5.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Pretty weird.
7 or 8. Yeah, 20 minutes without a Doomcast in a game where you have 17 kills is quite extraordinary. That might have been one more. But it's not coming to mind, honestly. So.
GPK with the damage. Rune, he's going to get... Oh my god, do they have the damage on top of this? And the Global Silence is Blade. GPK gets Orchid and he used the BKB. Oh my god, couldn't have been worse for BetBoom. That is such a BetBoom thing to happen. And the second kill goes the way of Tundra. They use... he gets arrowed. Global Silence BK... Oh my god. Oh, he's stone cold.
Whoever made that play call... That arrow is a game-winning play, right?
Yeah, that was sick.
This is possibly just a flat-out Elena Rax. You're going to see the replay here. So GPK with the double damage, and He zipped into it.
Man alive.
Global silence, excellent repositioning.
I thought he was fine at the end there. They're going to go deep into the base here. The box will keep one alive as BZM with the blade mount. Spotlight is placed as Crystal is focusing down Doom from afar. Miero in a lot of trouble. Has to use the BKB so close to Fountain. And the damage from Chrysalis and company is overwhelming. Fortifications there. Storm is up in 10 seconds. I don't even know if you can get this full racks. We'll see. But again, they don't have the global silence to work with, and they don't have the BKB on the Storm.
Still have meta for...
Blink online. Miero looking for a Doom target. Gonna reposition as 33 jumps in, gets the Rayfire Blast, but the arrow's gonna connect onto the silencer. Down goes Kataomi. Pure slowed to a crawl. There's a zip in from GPK, gonna stun BZM, gets off the blade mail. The Wheel of Wonder gonna be completely avoided as Chrysalis can just focus on the buildings now, but they isolate the Bristleback. They doom the Bristleback. And down goes, oh, the Thunder from Chrysalis saves him. And Pure looks like he'll get a little snack in Soxa as the Melee Rex is not quite dead at the moment. Will it actually survive? It looks like it will. A couple more hits would have been enough, but Tundra, maybe they're going to go back in, actually. BZM with a very early blade mail.
Skeletons looked up with ChatGPT what building to attack. Instead, building, yes, here is a building. Instead of melee barracks on 5%. Skeletons are not very smart.
Are scanning.
The power rune, we have a shield rune. And keep in mind, there's no Doom now. Honestly, maybe you can just barrel it down mid again.
Global is up.
You're playing Terrorblade with Coddle, so Metamorphosis is easily available again.
GPK is a hard target. Miero's going to show in lane, though. We'll see if Tundra actually want to go in here. Looks like they will disperse. Go back to the drawing board. And this is, yeah, it's going to be a fear. Man, so close to getting the melee barracks. BetBoom still at the disadvantage, but they will get the Roche to try to equalize things.
It is interesting to see the makeup of the fights, though. It's seemingly difficult for BetBoom to take advantage of their burst damage with the Storm Ursa combination. It's always Tundra starting off the fight and making it chaotic and difficult by just sending their Wraith King into their faces every time. That's one of the big upsides to this Radiance build is he's a lot harder for Ursa to kill, and if he clips him with the Radiance burn, Pure can't blink on anyone else. And it's a fight he doesn't really want to take. He doesn't want to have to expend his BKB or his Enrage to hit a Wraith King for his first life.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
We'll see what kind of plays they can make with this Aegis.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
As a very late Midas comes online. Of course, Miero can always sell that for 90%.
That's what he did before. He sold it to buy his BKB. And
oh, he's had it twice now?
Yeah.
So funny. What a dumb innate. As they're going to find an opening onto the Ursa. This is the Aegis for Pure. He's going to have to use the BKB in retreat. Definitely worth. Not much investment needed for Tundra to force that out.
Whitemon on GPK. GPK on Whitemon.
That's right. Good play call. I feel like GPK's gotten basically every rune in the game so far.
Oh, look at Lincoln's. Oh, it gets bought against Doom still. Some things never change.
Yes.
So BZM will have that.
No, the jump in from Miero. Kataomi in the tree line, but Soxa is going to use the Will-O-Wisp onto Miero. And Miero has to pop the BKB. Trying to take out 33, but he's getting healed just a slight amount by the Lotus.
Trying to get in and maybe get a slow.
Is actually nobody going to die here. It looks to be the case. Very tense game here. Remember, this is essentially for upper bracket, this series. Loser will go down to the lower bracket when the playoffs begin in a couple days.
Soxa tried his very best to heal 33 with 3 Illuminates. 33 ran away from 2 of them and didn't care. Good teamwork.
Sounds
here.
like 33. Oh, Kataomi on the high ground with
He knew where Kataomi was. He would jump him in immediately here, but they don't have vision, of course.
He's pretty close to Manta style. I mean, obviously that's just going to be good against the global anyway. We're talking about the Radiance more so than anything. But it'll be a value pickup.
Yeah, it's still nice for him to be able to blink, stun someone, get chakra'd, and then if some sort of random thing silences him, he can guarantee the second Wraithfire Blast and keep the ball rolling.
So what does BetBoom need to do with this Aegis to feel good? They're going to smoke up now.
I think the ideal way to enter the fight is to blink and one-shot Caudle with Ursa Storm. I think that's the best way for things to break out. Sox is doing so much in every fight.
Yeah.
And he's relatively easy to kill relative to his output.
Saved. He's spotted. Big hairball onto several heroes as Pure's going to get stunned, but there's the global silence to potentially disengage, although GPK going in very deep. Wheel of Wonder is placed as well as Crystallis gets done. He is dead. No way to get back in this game, and that is the first life from the Wraith King as well as 33 trying to reposition. He's going to tank up another dart, and Pure is just decimating him with his claws. Finally gets Yules up in the air. The kiting of Ursa continues, but the big zip in, 33 looks to be dead. We'll take one life from Pure, but that is just the Aegis. As GPK was being chased, but it looks like he's going to be A-okay. And Pure and GPK gonna team up to take out Soxa in turn, and Whitemon onto the low ground. Really wants GPK. Oh, he actually ended up running into the arrow there. So they finally get one kill, but BetBoom gonna be super happy with this, unless
I'm not sure how happy they'll be after this.
He's all alone.
BZM is
Getting some backup via save. As Kateomi coming in as well, gets a Curse Crown as well. That is not the right hero center. That is Dark Willow. In fact, it's BZM. Force out the Ghost Step from Kateomi. Looks like he's going to live here. And BZM really wants something to take home with him. But unfortunately, it looks like it might just be his death instead. Although he's very low. Spotlight is placed. And there's the last right click from the blink from Pure. BetBoom come out on top of this big time. That was a really elongated fight.
This was not even an immediate play that I was imagining them finding, but they managed to 100-0 Crystallis. He got nothing off. No BKB, no Manta, no ult. Did they even doom him on the kill? I think they didn't. I think they used doom on someone else.
I believe it was Blink, Abyssal into Wheel of Wonder, if I'm not mistaken.
Just flat out found the target and blew him up. Like I was saying, I think the better angle to approach fights is to one-shot kill the supports, but if you can find Terrorblade like this, that's obviously the dream. Going to see the replay here. So he walks in, he's silenced, he gets gripped. So he flat out just walked into the storm. I mean, okay, that's also a little bit
more casual.
A little bit of a facepalm moment. Now that I see the replay, that was extremely avoidable. He could have popped BKB prior if he wanted to walk in. He could have popped Manta as he was approaching the high ground, but flat out just set himself up on a platter for the storm. So a little bit of a slip up there from Crystal has ended up costing them dearly. Now Soxa.
Yep, he is found for the time being.
Pulling in reinforcements, but I think they won't arrive in time.
No, Will-O-Wisp used, but to no avail. GPK with a freebie. He has died twice, by the way, now.
Yeah. Still having a good game in spite of that. 18 galvanized stacks. Pharasma completed, obviously massive damage increase for this hero. And this time around, Kateomi with a different angle, not going Refresher, going for the Aghanim Scepter. So that applies Arcane Curse on everybody being global silenced.
It's a good blink cancel.
And it does stack with your own Arcane Curse. So can be super annoying to shrug off if you don't have Dispels. Now,
and BZM doesn't have a Dispel, does he?
Does not, indeed. And they don't have a Lotus Orb for him, right? So they can Manta it off on Terrorblade and on Wraith King, and Mirana can Yule herself technically out of Desperation. But yeah, the Bristle will actually be kind of plagued by this for a while. He's got an item arriving now, which is Ghost Scepter.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot that goes through BKB in this game. So it does kind of feel bad to have to buy it for Bristle.
Yeah. It does feel weird to buy Lotus and Linken's on Bristle. I think you kind of opt for one or the other, and it's understandable you get Linken's because of the Doom. So maybe one of the supports has to cough up a Lotus for you. Mirana's actually queuing it up now, so it seems like they're coming to the same realization here. Caudle going 4-staff. Next. What do we have on BetBoom? Is there anything big coming out? Nero has finished his Octarine core, and he's now queuing up Refresher for that late game Doom. Once he hits 25, things get really scary for the Bristle. This might be the type of game where you choose to take Doom Applies Break because of Bristle. It's an option at least.
Yeah, potentially. It's BZM. Gonna lead in the charge here. They find the Ursa, the Will-O-Wisp, super annoying. Uses the Ogre Seal Totem, still within the Will-O-Wisp though. The arrow not gonna be there because of the BKB from Pure. Trying to focus down BZM with the Blade Mail, but he's gonna walk away. Wraithfire Blast is applied. Zip in from GPK. Gonna use the BKB with the Wheel of Wonder being placed as well, but this time Crystal is able to get away. In fact, it's just onto the Wraith King. That's life number 1.
Uh-oh.
It's Miero getting force-staffed, trying to TP, but the Wraithfire Blast is there. He gets boxed up, but it feels inevitable that he will drop here as BZM trying to find another target to go on. It's a 5 versus 4 in favor of Tundra on the doorsteps of BetBoom's base. Save gets destroyed here. Pure now surrounded, slowed to a crawl. He has nothing to work with as Kateoma can only watch from afar as he is decimated. 3 dead for BetBoom. No buybacks on these cores. Save buys back, but that's the only one that they have. Now this tier 4 getting destroyed very swiftly by Tundra. The Spotlight's going to do pretty good work against the illusions of Crystallis. They get the melee racks, but now they can just go for Throne. There should be another fortification as Zippin from GPK. They don't have many stuns to work with. He gets Orchid at the last moment, though. The Yules, can they set up an arrow? Can they set up another stun? They do! He gets boxed after the fact, though. And they're just going to call GG before GPK even dies. He doesn't, in fact, die. But regardless, 2-0 for Tundra, which means they go to the upper bracket, BetBoom to the lower.
Damn.